Leaving home was very dramatic because after Form 4 and I think being a teenager, ushamaliza Form 4 and it looks like nothing is happening, so tukaanza kujihusisha tu na stories za twende soko to watch movies. There isn't much to do. My mom sat me down and told me, wacha nikwambie kijana yangu, mimi I have struggled. Your father is not here. I have struggled to take you to school. You have done your Form 4 and here you are. I am done. Kaniambia mimi nishamaliza.
I've done my part.
Whatever happens after this, you decide. But I don't like the fact that you're going to spend the whole day at the market watching movies and coming back empty-handed. Ata uleti, ata chumvi. You need to figure out how that is going to happen. And I think it was a moment of awakening for me,
Yes, mambo vipi mpenzi mtazamaji na mfuatiliaji wa Alfajiri Digital Space. My name is Majani Chezo na as I told you nitakuwa naenda Kitale kufanya interview na at least 25 most influential people from Kitale, Trans Nzoia County. Na siku ya leo hapa kuna jamaa mmoja ambaye ana fit kwa hiyo list ya watu 25 wenye ushawishi zaidi in terms of influencing social life. Tutakuwa tunapiga naye story moja mbili tatu afu tujue mambo kibao kumhusu. Tumewahi kufanya naye interview before. This is the second time we are doing with him an interview, although in a different platform. Atatuambia yeye ni nani, anatoka wapi, anafanya nini, na labda kama unamjua from a different angle utamjua leo kwa kina sana. Yes, mambo vipi bro?
Niko poa sana. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Karibu sana. How was the journey?
Hey man, it's been good. Tumekuja mbio. Nilikuwa naambia dereva kanyage mafuta. Okay. Muda ni mchache. Okay. But nimefika, nashukuru sana.
Safi sana.
Yes.
Na kuona sana shamba, na kuona sana na tractors, ndugu yangu. Umeamua kuwekeza kwa kilimo?
Trans Nzoia is a bread basket. Sisi tunalisha taifa. So kilimo is essentially part of us. Wale wanafanya kilimo, small scale farming, kuna wale wanakuwa na mashamba makubwa, but anyway, we are doing what we can. But I think what you are referring to ni ile shughuli ya kulinda mazingira. Tunafanya restoration ya Mount Elgon, mahali inaitwa Kiptogot. So tumekuwa na shughuli za upanzi wa miti kwa hii muda mfupi wa mvua ambayo imekatika hivi majuzi.
Okay.
Yes.
Kuna watu wanakujua from very different angles, both in Kitale and outside Kitale. I know some people know you from the US. Kumbuka umewahi kunikutanisha na mtu fulani in the United States of America.
Yes.
Nguti from the days of the Get Real Festival. This is 2014. Excellent programs, Fireplace Studios, and other things. Somebody might wish to know, who is Ambrose Nguti? Where was he born? And how was his childhood? Na ikakuaje mpaka akafika Kitale?
That's a lot, man. That's a lot. So kwa majina naitwa Ambrose Nguti, majina mbili peke yake. Hiyo ndio inakuja kwa M-Pesa. I'm born in Kimilili, Bungoma. Raised in Kimilili, Bungoma, for the better part of my life until I finished Form 4. And then I came to Kitale kuhustle kidogo hapa na pale, mambo ya shule and all that. And I think ile wakati nilitransfer kuja Kitale, it was 2006. 2006, mambo ya hustle hapa na pale, and then I have stayed in Kitale ever since. So many things have happened.
And those many things are the ones that I'm looking for.
Okay.
Let's get back to, how was your childhood?
My childhood was normal. My childhood was normal. I was raised by a single mom. My dad passed on in those very early years of my life. So I was raised by my mom. We grew up in a very loving home. We didn't have much, but I think my mom did her best to provide for us, me and my siblings. We went to school like any other kids. Yeah, so there isn't anything unusual, but I think we had a very comfortable childhood. Yes.
I know Nguti, for the last few years, kuna kipindi fulani ulikuwaga na msiba. I think you lost your mother. And this is the time that I saw you in the lowest moments. And I know most probably because your mother was there when nobody else was there. Maybe, how do you remember like this specific thing that your mother did to you during your childhood while you were growing?
Hey, Masi.
The main thing that you really feel this mother was special to.
My mom was a fighter. Was a fighter. She could do anything to protect her kids, and I am the last born, so you can imagine. I was her favorite, and she could go to very dramatic extent to make sure that I'm comfortable, that I am just to provide for us as a family. I remember, as I have mentioned, she wasn't learned, so she wasn't employed. She was a housewife. She was plowing my father's farm to provide for us. Additionally, she was making a local brew to substantiate our income, make sure that we have some money to do 1, 2, 3. And in the process, I experienced a lot of violence, and how she fought it. Violence from people who come to drink at our place, because she was a single woman, she was a widow. And so back then, there was a lot of interest of men who wanted to take over our home and that kind of thing. And she was very adamant that she is not interested in the advances, sometimes violently, because it was very unfortunate. The kind of things that I saw her go through are things that make me wonder how much she could endure to just make sure that we are safe, that we are okay, that everything is taken care of. And then a mother will always protect her children. There was an instance where I was accused of doing something. I was in my teens. I was accused of doing something, and in everybody who heard about that story believed I was guilty. It's only my mom who knew I didn't do it. And after a very long time, of course, ilienda mpaka ikakuwa police case. We were supposed to pay some fine. Of course, it costed us a lot. We did all that, but at the end of the day, the truth came out. Kwamba I was innocent. It's something I was framed for. Only my mom believed me that I was innocent. So there is a lot of emotion attached to my childhood and how my relationship with my mother. So when she passed on, it was that moment where you just feel like the world is coming crashing down on you. But here we are, we thank God.
Paul, I know it might be inappropriate for me to ask about that story, but for the sake of learning, let's talk of now your school life. Maybe your classmates or schoolmates might be watching this video. Where did you go to school? To primary school? Maybe they might be wishing to meet you again after so many years.
Watu wa Matili FYM primary school, just in Kimilili. We were walking from Hamlati, my area, to Matili FYM. I did my class 8 there. After that, I joined St. Paul's Amkura in, I think is it Teso?
Probably. Amkura is probably.
Yeah, is in Teso. I joined St. Paul's Amkura. I did 3 years. But then nikashindwa na fee because it was a very prestigious school. My mom was struggling, my brothers walikuwa nasaidia, but pia was struggling, so I had to defer. Wanaitwanga defer. I had to be sent home because of the huge balance. Na nikashindwa. So I stayed home for a year. And then I went to St. Mary's Socio. Back then it was still a mixed school. So I went to St. Mary's Socio in Kamkuywa, around Kamkuywa, to do again Form 3, and then I did my Form 4 in St. Mary's Socio.
Okay.
After that, of course, kuna hustle hapa na pale, which took some time, but I joined Nairobi Aviation College, pursuing social work and community development diploma. After that, I worked with various NGOs, and I think that is the area that a lot of people now saw the kind of work that I do. I started being a community mobilizer around Trans Nzoia, mambo ya social protection, especially for people who had been affected by the post-election violence back then, 2007. Now the work of returning the victims to their places around 2009, 2010, and then we started doing programs on gender-based violence and peace building, and now moving into the future.
There's a very interesting story you've ever told me somewhere. Maybe I would wish you to tell people who are watching this channel. Probably it might inspire somebody. Now let me take you back to home, to your home. What was the name again?
Hamulati.
Now, Nguti, how did you come to Kitale? Who received you? What was your first hustle?
Yo, but you need to ask other questions, man. You know, leaving home was very dramatic, because after Form 4, and I think being a teenager, ushamaliza Form 4, and it looks like, you know, nothing is happening, you know. So tukaanza kujihusisha tu na stories za twende soko to watch movies. There isn't much to do. My mom sat me down and told me, wacha nikwambie kijana yangu, mimi I have struggled. You know, your father is not here. I have struggled to take you to school. You have done your Form 4, and here you are. I am done. Kaniambia mimi nishamaliza.
I've done my part.
Whatever happens after this, you decide. But I don't like the fact that you're going to spend the whole day at the market watching movies and coming back empty-handed. Ata uleti, ata chumvi. You need to figure out how that is going to happen. And I think it was a moment of awakening for me, you know. Listening to my mom speak like that, it made me rethink my priorities, you know. She made suggestions. You can go to Kitale. You have your relatives. Some of them are very known politicians around, so I don't want to mention their names because I don't have consent for that. But we are related to some of the politicians that are known. So my mom was suggesting, uende kwa mandugu zako, watakutafutia kazi. Na hao mandugu zangu najua tu kwa tumekutana.
You've never met anyone.
Nasikianga tu wewe ni kazi ni ya huyu, mama yake ni dada ya mama yako, you know, that kind of thing. So that was the moment I was supposed to show up, introduce myself, mimi ni mtoto wa fulani, alafu nataka usaidizi ABCD. That made me very uncomfortable, you know. So when I came to Kitale, I didn't have much by then. Nikachukua tu nguo yangu moja extra, nikaweka kwa paper bag, nikapandishwa gari,
watu weka wapi?
Kwa paper bag. Paper bag.
Sio hata bag.
Bag ilikuwa wapi?
Zile za green.
The only bag I had ni ile ya kutoka shule, na ilikuwa imeraruka beyond repair.
Na umeanza kuwa kijana, umeanza kuwa conscious.
Nimeanza kwa sasa. I just took my paper bag with an extra pair of clothes. I came to Kitale. Fare ilikuwa ni one way. So nikifika Kitale vitu ziumane, I have no return ticket.
Hey.
So I came to Kitale, and I was very uncomfortable to start pursuing these cousins of mine. So I looked for a job. Nikapata kazi hapa ya kukua waiter, si hata waiter, cleaner, wacha niite hivyo. Hapa kwa district hospital. Not inside the hospital, but there was a cafeteria
Hapa saidi ya Ampa kama.
Hapo tu kuna by then sahi kuna tu hoteli mingi but by then there was only one cafeteria hapo that was serving the district hospital. So nilienda hapo nikapata huyo mathe akanisikiza, akasema kuja kazi kesho. Sasa kesho bro, sina mahali ya kulala because I don't want to go searching for my cousins that I don't know. So nikasema tu acha nitembee tao. Something told me naweza lala tu town kama machokora, you know, and tomorrow I go to work, alafu yani I was living a day at a time. So when I was walking, sijawahi kuja Kitale. So I don't know where I'm going, but I'm just walking along hiyo barabara ya kupita stadium. Nikakutana na one of my acquaintance, si hata friend, ni jamaa tulikutana naye sometime back. Tumewahi onana. He's a pastor. He was a pastor by a youth pastor, and we had gone for a conference somewhere huko Tarbo. So he remembered me because I was very active by then. I was a youth leader. I was also very active in church. So he remembered me. Hey, Ambrose, what are you doing in Kitale? Sasa tukaanza kupiga story. Nikamwambia story yangu. Nimekuja kutafuta kazi, hata sina mahali ya kulala and all that. So he was living in Lesotho. Alikuwa anaenda home. Akasema tuende nyumbani. Tukaendelea kupiga story, tukaenda nyumbani tukakula, akanipea mahali ya kulala, you know. And that is how my life began in Kitale. The following day nikaenda kazi. I started earning, I think it was 70 shillings a day.
Which year was this?
2006.
This is 19 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So nikaanza kufanya cleaning hapo kwa hiyo cafeteria, mavyombo, nini, cleaning floor. Kama wanataka vitunguu na nyanya kutoka town wanakutuma, you know. So that's how I started my life in Kitale.
So you are walking literally from Lesotho
to district hospital every day.
It's a very long distance.
I know. But by then it didn't appear like it was long because you didn't have an alternative. Unakataa kutembea, what alternative do you have? So it was a life that I embraced, and I think it built the foundation that I'm on right now. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how is life? You started earning. How is life after that? Are you talking to your mother back at home? Are you communicating? How is life?
It took some time before we communicated because I didn't even have a phone. And it took some time before I saved enough to go back home. Because remember, I was being housed by somebody. Huyu somebody pia akona shelf life ya grace yake is, you know, it has to get to a point where you need to start sorting yourself out. So I had to rent a house. I think around Lesotho tu hapo pia I was paying around 350 shillings a month. Na bado ilikuwa inanisumbua. But after some time I went back home, told mom what has happened. She still insisted I needed to talk to my cousins, you know, but I told her I'm okay. I have some work. That excited her because now she knows. And of course I went with something back at home for the first time, you know. Did some shopping, went back home, and she was very excited that things have started looking up for me. And she just wished me well, you know, whatever decisions I make and that kind of thing. She just, whatever it is that you want to decide to do, I bless you, endelea na kazi yako, make sure that you make progress, I'm happy for you. You know, that coming from a mother is very impactful. Nikarudi, tuliendelea vizuri, tukafika mahali, hiyo kazi naona ikakuwa mzito, or it's just the ambition that I had, kwamba I didn't want to be in that space for a long period of time. So ikafika mahali, nika quit. When I was quitting that job, I didn't have an alternative work. So ikabidi tena nikae in the dry season for some time. I think it was a week or so. Nikakutana na, so huyo pastor mwenye alikuwa amenihost mwanzo akasema I have a friend mwenye ako na shule, private school. Ameanzisha private school. So will you consider teaching, you know?
Untrained teacher.
Untrained teacher. So he connected me to his friend. Nikaenda, akanifanyisha interview. Of course I was good in English and history and that kind of thing. Akanipea kazi, you know. Akanipea kazi. I taught there for I think a term or two. Haikumaliza mwaka. I quit that job as well because it was very strenuous. Kazi ni hivi. Unafunza kama 3 form 1, form 2, form 3. So it was very strenuous. But I did 2 terms and then I quit that job. When I quit that job, then I landed in Chanuka Resource Centre. Chanuka Resource Centre was a place that was being managed by Handicap International back then, an NGO. So that was the bridge. That was how I got connected to mambo ya civil society, NGO, charity work and all that.
Now on that point, kuna watu wanaishi Kitale leo ama wanakuja Kitale but they don't know what Chanuka is and where it was initially and how it was working. Able to enlighten kidogo, what was it about? Nani alikuwa na Chanuka?
My God. Okay. Chanuka was a program, a youth program that was focusing on HIV awareness, sensitization, promoting mambo ya testing, ambia watu kwenda kutest kujua hali yako, and if you know you are positive, there is a process you go through. You get to join a group of people who can help you manage your situation, access medical help, upate madawa za kukusaidia to manage the HIV virus, and many other programs around it. We were dealing with reproductive health, telling people to use condoms and all that kind of thing. Progressively, Chanuka grew into by the time I was joining, it was a self-help group. So it had a center, a resource center where we had a hall. Youth could do meetings there. We had talk shows there, and then baadaye kulikuwa na library. Those ones who wanted to read would go and read. So it was a place for people to transform. If you wanted something to, if you wanted to change your life, that was like the place. It had a place for everybody, whether they were creatives or non-creatives or anything like that. So that is where I landed after I quit my teaching job. And I think it was very exciting because fundamentally I'm a social person. Nataka nikuwe mahali penye kuna watu and then discuss na nini na nini. It didn't take a lot of time for me to grow and start hosting now the talk show that we had at Chanuka. But tukiendelea tuka-transform Chanuka from a self-help group to a CBO. That transformation now started attracting funding from our mother donor, that was Handicap International. So wakaanza kutupea pesa to, run some of those programs, pesa kidogo kidogo hapa na pale. So that was now my new form of employment. Although it was charity, lakini pesa ilikuwa si mbaya sana, I could manage with it. So tukafanya na Chanuka, ika-grow, ikafika mahali, ikasambaratika for internal reasons. So people who are fundamentally supporting Chanuka and running Chanuka decided now to start their own ventures. Kuna watu wenye walienda Nairobi wakaenda university, kuna sisi tukaanza organization zetu zenye zilikuwa that were feeding into our vision as a people. So kila mtu akaanza kujitafutia. That is how the Excellent Program Promotion Services came about.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you doing? What was the thematic areas? What were the thematic areas of Excellent Programs? I think this is the very first time I met you. This is around 2014, 13.
2013, 2014.
Yes.
So Excellent Program was very, it was built on talent and creativity. So what we were doing is that we were trying to promote talents, bringing young people together, exploring what talents they have and promoting those particular talents. And the way we were promoting those talents is trying to link individual youths who have talents. You are a musician, can we link you up to an opportunity that can help you, either recording studio or just even an opportunity for you to perform in an event. We were like advocates back then. Unafanya hii, can we push for you for an opportunity to benefit you? But also, I think largely we did 2 festivals. You have mentioned in your Get Real Festival.
14th of August.
You have the dates.
I performed there.
Oh,
I was an actor, so we did a small play.
Yes.
I think it was a 3-day event.
Get Real Festival was one of those ideas that really even surprised me myself, because it really brought a lot of young people together. I remember Mkenya Isaac was 7 million also came to perform there. and several other artists from Kitale. So it brought young people together and just gave them a platform to showcase. Because when you are an artist back then, looking for an opportunity kwa events zenye zimekuwa organized na watu inakuwa struggle sana. So we just thought, let's bring young people together, let's create an audience from themselves, and then they will show what they have, and then probably invite people who might be interested to support one or two people. And I think we did very well for the two events. I think young people sold products that they came with, creative products, those ones who did perform, walijulikana na watu wakasaidiwa 1 2 3. So I'm very proud to have managed those particular two events. But nothing lasts forever. Tukafika mahali tukaenda into activism. Tukaanza kuangalia mambo ya governance na nini cause it was really causing a lot of people were asking, our leaders are not doing this, our leaders are not doing that. So we really sunk ourselves into activism, trying to push leaders to do the right thing and trying to participate and helping people to participate in governance. Lakini nafikiri in the process tukaanza kurub the wrong shoulders.
No, sasa, that is now where I was going.
Yes.
We are taking a commercial break.
Yes.
When we come back,
We will find out which shoulders we
I saw you somewhere unapiga mjengo. How did you get there?
Oh my
we will
goodness.
pick from there.
Oh my goodness.
Hello guys, this is Majani Chezo over here, and our guest is
Nguti.
You've not finished.
My name is Nguti with the Fireplace Studios.
Okay. This is Alfajiri Digital Space, and after the commercial break, we'll get back here and know why did this guy go to wherever he went, and what was he doing in a mjengo site. Hii nyumba ilikuwa yake ama alikuwa foreman ama alikuwa na act. We will get back shortly. Yes. Hello guys. Tumerudi tena after a short commercial break. Na venye tu nimesema tulikuwa tuko Mombasa. This again is Alfajiri Digital Space. Na mgeni wetu anaitwa
Nguti, nafanya na Fireplace Studios.
Okay, now after can I call it the fall ama the split of Chanuka organization? Mumeanza kukosoa serikali. Which year was this, and which level of government were you critiquing?
I think it was in the advent of devolution. Yeah. Kulikuwa na 2010 constitution, and then after that we had the first election was in 2013. Yeah, 2013. So from 2013 up to 2014, thereabouts, kulikuwa na a lot of focus on county governments, institutionalizing devolution, and there were a lot of things that had not been put in place, but there was a lot also of focus on governance. There are new animals, and everybody's wondering, sasa governor anafanya nini kazi. I think there was what do I call it? Enthusiasm and expectations from people, because wakati ya campaign watu walikuwa wana promise vitu zenye hata haziko. Me, I will do this, and everybody is new in this arrangement of devolution. So wakati governor aliingia kwa ofisi, and of course there was a lot of noise about citizen participation, kuhakikisha kwamba wananchi wana participate in their own governance, that they make decisions, and that the county government implements the decisions of the people, either through the elected members, that is MCS, ama directly. So we were also very categorical about mambo ya public participation, and also making sure that the county government or the governor is doing what is supposed to be done. And I think that is where we started feeling the heat. Kwamba we are critiquing the county government. Personally, I received very threatening phone calls And I think that made me step back a little, you know, and start asking myself whether that is the direction I want to take, and how credible that is, and whether there is real danger on my life, you know. So I think in that confusion and in that fear, I decided to take a break. I just packed my bags and decided wacha nitoke Trans Nzoia kidogo. So I went to Mombasa. I didn't go to Mombasa directly. I was just, you know, I went to Narok. Nikatembea Narok kidogo. I have never been to Narok before. And then I decided, sasa siwezi rudi Kitale, let me go to Mombasa. So I went to Mombasa. Ile ilikuwa tu ni taking a break kidogo, but then I realized I will take longer than that. Even if you save money, you can't save money and stay on, you know. Ilifika mahali ikaisha. I'm in Mombasa, and I still don't want to come back. So I started figuring, how do I survive in Mombasa, you know. Nikaanza kutafuta kazi nini. I was lucky enough to work as a volunteer in one of the community-based organization in Mombasa that is doing conservation. We worked now, I think, 6 months as an intern, as a volunteer. Lakini hiyo project pia ikakuja kaisha.
Ilikuwa inatoa kitu.
Ilikuwa inatoa kitu. Ilikuwa inanipea kitu. Volunteer, but there is a stipend, you know, because also the kind of work we were doing was very intensive. So after that work kukatika, ndio sasa kukakuwa sasa na dry season ile ya ukweli.
In a foreign land. Hundreds of kilometers away from Bungoma.
And you don't want to go back home when you're crying and all that. So I tried all means, siasa hapa na pale. I decided kwenda mjengo, you know, when everything else proved difficult. Nikaenda mjengo. One of the guys mwenye alikuwa tumejuana sasa anatoka Chwele. Kwao ni Chwele, but he was managing a property for someone. So vile alikuwa naona napitia hali ngumu, akaniuliza kama naweza fanya kazi ya mjengo. Nikamwambia mimi sijai fanya kazi ya mjengo, but I think it's as long as it's helping me put food on my table, I'll try. So akanipeleka kwa mjengo bwana asubuhi. Introduced me to the foreman, akasema nimekuletea huyu kijana nini kazi. Huyo jamaa akaniangalia hivi akaniuliza tena, utaweza?
But why? Were you too small?
I don't know, I wasn't small, but I think he just thought vile nilikuwa nakaa ni kama bontao ama sijui nini, you know.
Ama ulikuwa umeng'arang'ara hivi.
Somebody yani aliniangalia na akauliza for assurance whether this is something I wanted to do. Mimi nikasema nimekuja kazi, twende kazi. Hiyo kazi haikuwa mchezo. We were building a high rise building bwana. Tunachimba foundation like 2 floors down. Na unapandisha hiyo mchanga na wheelbarrow, bro.
Technology ilikuwa bado ya advance kama sasa hivi.
Wewe unasema technology vitu gani? Mnachimba hiyo kitu. Yaani sasa wamechimba na excavator. But now kuna ile mchanga imebaki na nini you have to. Ilitoka hiyo siku lala.
The first day
was hell, man. Alafu so the foreman is giving me, so I've given you groups. Kuna hao watu wa wheelbarrow, kuna hao watu wa mashovels na majembe, kuna hao watu wa nini. Site iko na 2 groups mingi. Wewe jamaa mwenye nilipewa sasa mwenye anasimamia hii kikundi yangu ya kumchanga. Ni jamaa, I didn't know the first day, but I think ni mtu alikuwa anatumia banki.
He wants you to deliver no matter what.
I will never forget, man. Ile mbio nilipelekwa hiyo siku.
You should deliver.
By the time we are breaking for lunch at 1, hauna hata nguvu ya kukula.
On that issue ya mjengo, nimewahi kufanyanga kazi kwa mjengo. Alafu I was earning around 150. But I was eating 170. So kufika end of the week na dai.
Uko na deni. Na hakuna mshahara. Hi bro. So I think mjengo, there are a lot of things that happened there. But my hands were all blisters by evening. I could not take a shower because ukiweka mikono kwa maji hivi ni kama umeweka kwa nini kwa
spirit.
So it was literally very difficult for me. But the next day it was either I go back or I don't. So I had to make a choice. Nikaenda nimefunga mikono zangu na maviraka na nini just to slow down the process and all that, but eventually nikashika kazi. I think I left that mjengo when the building was on the 4th floor. So we had done your ground floor, ameanza kujenga ground floor, first floor mpaka 4th floor. So I did mjengo. Along the way nikaona hiyo pesa mjengo pia haitoshi, and huyo jamaa tena akakuwa very generous, akasema if you can manage upige mjengo mchana alafu usiku I can give you umsaidiane na huyu jamaa kufanya security. So the building we were building was a new one. There was an old one yenye ilikuwa tayari imekuwa occupied na tenants na watu walikuwa wameshaingia. So to secure the compound na nini akasema niko na mtu mmoja, but I will want to add another one. Are you interested? Nikasema sawa. Bro, kazi mbili usiku na mchana, utalala saa ngapi?
Sasa hapo silibidi uame kwako uishi hapo.
Hawezi ama. Ukimaliza mjengo saa 12 because you're closing at either 5:30, around 5:30. By 7 una report as a security guard. So you have like 1.5 hours or so to go home, shower, eat and come back.
Sasa kwako wewe ulikuwa unapiga tu technical appearance.
Basically was to shower and change and go back, because now you have to change the clothing, chukua vitu zenye ziko na joto kidogo, 1 2 3 tochi nini and all that, then you go back on site. Unatoka tena 6. Sasa nini tuseme asubuhi you can't go back home because unafunga 6 and then by 7 you're supposed to be on site. So I did that for about 6 months. Then something changed. Wewe jamaa kazi ni mzuri. Unajua sasa ukishika kazi, na mimi ni mtu sichezangi na job.
You've said the guy told you asked you if unaweza enda Nairobi ukakuwa caretaker. What was your response?
Nilimwambia nipe time nifikirie, because I think as I have mentioned, I started asking myself kama this is the kind of life I want, and if this is all I can get. And I think I was having conversations with a friend of mine when nilikuwa tunafanya programs na yeye, anaitwa Shaban. Huyo acha nimtaje kwa sababu ana issue. It's a very close friend of mine. Shaban used to run a program peace and governance, and I was the county head for Trans Nzoia, so we were very close. He went to the US. He has been there ever since. So that time I was in Mombasa, we established a communication. Na yeye akaanza kuniuliza, so what are you doing na nini, and he had his own ideas. Anatoka Kakamega, and he had an idea of doing something in his home county na vijana huko, na najua what kind of work we did with him. So akaniambia, Nguti, is it okay if you could go to Kakamega and help me do this? Because anajua we have done project implementation, mambo ya reporting tuko sawa, mambo ya financial management tuko sawa. So that I go to Kakamega and try and help those guys to run a project. Pia nikiwa mentor, nikiwaonyesha what to do, because it was a very small group. Nikasema mimi niko sawa, if that is the plan, I think it would be nice. So by that time I think I had started accepting the fact that I need to go back home. Unaelewa?
Umekaa kama how long huko?
2 years.
Wow. I didn't see you for a very long time.
It was 2 years.
Okay.
I came back, I think, after the 2017 elections.
Yeah,
2017 elections. Because mambo ya campaign na nini, hata mambo ya voting I did in Mombasa. But after that I think nikaanza ku realize I need to come back home. But, in between there I worked for politicians as a communications person. I don't want to mention the politician, and I had very high hopes. Ndio nakwambia, my interaction with the politicians has never had a very good impression, outcome. So we had high hopes. We did what we did, but he lost the election. But the promises he had, he didn't fulfill, obviously because he didn't have the power that he was looking for. So pia ikatu changanya kidogo. And then I decided, maybe it was time for me to leave Mombasa. So we spoke with my friend Shaban. We started the project. I came to Kakamega kwanza kufanya hiyo kazi na hao vijana. So I was in Kakamega for another year, but in the meantime when I was in Kakamega, I started now coming back to Kitale to reconnect with my networks and see what is happening, doing 1 2 3. After the nini was done, the project was done, because now we were waiting for funding and all that kind of thing. Then I came back home. That is now how I reconnected with my community in Trans Nzoia, and that is how the Fireplace was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we dive deep into the Fireplace Studios, let's talk of, there is a time ulikuwa na dready. When was this?
That was the time I was in Mombasa.
Oh.
Nilikuwa na baby locks. But sasa dread zikamea zikakuwa mrefu when I was in Mombasa, and all that kind of thing. But I didn't come back with them. Nilinyoa by the time I was coming to Kakamega. Nilikuwa nimenyoa. Although nilikuwa nimekonda mtu wangu, watu walikuwa na wasiwasi kama nitaenda.
So now, according to your thinking at that time, unajua wanasemaga mtu akikuwa na tattoos na locks, there is some kind of confidence ama some kind of justification anatafuta. Labda wewe kama Nguti at this time, life imekutoa kutoka ulisema Hamulati.
Yes.
To Kitale, to exile, to Kakamega. Up to this point yenye uko na dread. Kwa nini ulieka dread? And what made you think that, you know what, it's now time, let me cut down these things?
I think kuweka dread it has always been a communication. Fashion is communicating all the time. Mtu hawezi tu kuambia tu ati nimevaa tu vile nimevaa, either intentionally or without intention. There is something they are saying with the way they are dressed. So for me, kuweka dread, it was a moment of freedom. Like I'm in a place where I can be able to do what I want to do and that kind of thing. It was an expression of freedom, especially when we were now into the activism space and we are doing things. I put on the dread just to feel that I'm in a space where I can be able to do what I want. Of course, going to Mombasa, alafu nikafika mahali sasa I want to ile wakati nilishave hizo dread. Hata jamaa wa kinyozi akasema, do you want to go with them? Because most dreads are very expensive. They are very expensive. Mtu akitaka kwenda kununua real hizo nini, it's very expensive. Nikamwambia bro, nimekuja kunyoa tena niende na dread. So alifurahi kwa sababu alijua zilikuwa mrefu, nilikuwa nazishuka. Unasema nini? So I think he was very excited, nikamwachia hivyo. But I think I was in a transition. I wanted to start another phase of life because I realized Mombasa had a lot of struggle, had a lot of pain and that kind of thing, and I needed a new start. So the shaving was a significant step for me to just say, you are now entering into a new season and you need to embrace it. See how far things can go.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a specific thing. If you are comfortable to talk about it, it's okay. If it's not, it's okay. As a young person, I've just gotten out of the space here. Hii kiherehere ya ujana. As a person in 20s, na najua kwa space yenye mlikuwa mnafanya kazi huko, let me take you back kidogo, kwa space yenye mlikuwa mnafanya kazi huko Chanuka, mlikuwa mnakutana na vijana tudem nini bla 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 such like stuff.
Tudem tulikuwa twingi
turembo tu. Najua saizi watakuwa washakuwa wa mama.
Yes.
So how was your relationship life at this time? Ulikuwa umeshaanzisha familia up to this time yenye uko Chanuka. umetoka Chanuka blah blah blah. Have you started family? That is my question.
I started family to the almost exit of Chanuka.
Oh.
Yeah. When Chanuka ilikuwa imeanza kushikashika, but we had issues hapa na pale. Yeah, hapo ndio I got married. But soon after Chanuka ikaisha, then now I pursued excellent program promotion services. So that season ya ku start a new organization, alafu kuna familia hapa, and then I also had gone back to school, ikakuwa ni vitu mingi sana at the same time. The decision to exit was a very painful one, you know. It was a very painful one, and I think it had a dent on my family in some way, because nilikuwa nimepata kijana
hapo Chanuka.
Hapana. Chanuka ilikuwa imeshamalizana na Chanuka, sasa tuko kwa excellent programs na mambo haiendi. Sasa ile wakati niliamua niende Mombasa for my safety and all that.
So you didn't go with the family?
No. I couldn't manage, you know. First of all, it wasn't a plan for me to stay that long. Ilikuwa tu ni kitu yani wacha ni hepe kidogo, mambo i cool down. Alafu tena sasa ikasonga. But I was in touch with my family. I used to come, but sasa ile ya kama ya radi. Wanzi yani mtu anioni nashuka naingia kwa hao 1 2 3 then so not so many people even knew that I was coming, but ilikuwa ni ile ya kujibaiba tu namna hivyo. Yes.
Okay. Now that one aside, let's talk about now the Fireplace Studios. You've come, you've experienced life in Mombasa,
yes,
in Kakamega. Umerudi Kitale. I don't want to mention the name, but I first noted the Fireplace Studios in a certain hotel. Iko pale. If you are comfortable to mention it, it's okay. If not, sir, pale. Now, what was the inspiration behind Fireplace Studios? And maybe now that you had been away for quite some time, how did you connect to that hotel where you started the show?
The Fireplace, first of all, it was called the Fireplace Show. Wacha tuanzie the original name. Sasa the idea of the Fireplace was born still in Mombasa. So it took time to cook. The idea of the Fireplace was born in Mombasa. One night when I was really stressed out na hii mambo ya kazi, umetoka kwa mjengo, umepigwa, yani hauna nguvu, alafu tena unaingia tena usiku, you're doing security work. Hiyo siku siju kulinyesha, and then kuna kabaridi fulani. Mombasa is not normally cold, but that night it was very cold. So na unajua boma ya wenyewe haina msitu, haina nini, hauwezi washa moto bwana. So I was really desiring hata kafaya tu fulani nikae mahali niote. Lakini ni wapi? So in that moment when I was thinking about the fire, my mind went back to what we were doing. With Chanuka, with Handicap International, with the community, and we did a lot of stuff, a lot of programs, and my involvement in the whole process. Me ni mobilizer, me ni mtu, I'm a communicator, we did a lot of sensitization, so I was in touch with the people. And my desire was to be able to promote conversations that inform people, that sensitize, that help people to make certain decisions. So when I was desiring fire that night, na nashiva na hiyo baridi, nikasema yani kuna tu venye unaweza kaa tu karibu na moto alafu mwanze kupiga story na wase. Unaelewa? Yani mkijibamba tu, hata mkikunywa hata chai ama nini, you know. Yani that was the ideal picture for me that night. And then it progressed now into why don't I start conversations, you know, around the fire. Yani tukijenjoy tu jioni, hatuna pressure nini na nini. Na unajua sasa hiyo ikakuja, I don't need a donor. to be able to do that kind of conversation. Because back then we were calling people for meetings, wanakuja kwa hall, una hire hoteli, unaita watu hapo lazima wanunulie chai alafu wapea allowance wakirudi kwao, you know. That's a budget. But sasa in my mind when I was thinking about it, naweza tu ita wasee, tuwashe moto, tukae chini tupige story, warudi kwao. Na unajua sasa hapo ndio mambo ya digital imeanza, mambo ya Facebook na nini. Nikasema tunaweza weka tu hata Facebook because people can nialike mtu mwenye ananisaidia conversation kama ni MCA ama ni nani, tupige story na yeye kwenye fireplace, lakini watu wengine wakuwe tu mahali penye wako, you know, the convenience of technology. So I don't have to call them, I don't have to pay them an allowance, but the conversation is still going on. So that is how the fireplace show was formed in my mind. So it took an entire year for me when I was in Kakamega to start planning on how to implement it. So ile time nilikuwa nakuja kidogo nakutana na mabeshte zangu, tuna reconnect, wale tulikuwa tunafanya nao kazi, they are asking me what is new and nini, nakawaambia sasa a big thing is about to happen.
I also saw it.
Tukai market nini, people were very, and I think I need to take a moment and just appreciate them. You know, they were very supportive. Mjama mwenye ananidesignia poster. Unajua poster was very expensive to design. Mimi mwenyewe sijui. So I have to pay the guy who designs the poster. I have to pay the guy who helps me record. I have to pay sijui what. Sometimes hata nilikuwa nanunua hiyo kahawa mimi mwenyewe because uwezi uliza guest atamekuja umhoji alafu mwambie anunue kahawa and all that. So I did a lot of investment in just building the fireplace show. So vile watu walianza kuikubali, vile umesema tulianza kwa hiyo hoteli, the reason why we chose that is because it was a new space. Walikuwa na move from their original and they needed the kind of visibility and marketing that we were providing. Now unajua we had history because we had worked with them when I was doing the excellent programs. Tulikuwa tumeenda kwa hizo hoteli kufanya meetings na nini, so tulikuwa tumejuana. Haya, tukaanza fireplace show, tukaanza kuita watu kuja wapige story, ikakuwa ni vibe sana town. But now progressively watu wakaanza ku air their issues, the things they would want to see on the fireplace show. Kuna watu wanataka kipindi ya wamama, conversations on women empowerment, the girl child and all that. Kuna wale wanataka kufocus mambo ya business, development, entrepreneurship and things like that. So I had a lot of ideas. Sasa nikasema hizo ideas nitaziweka aje kwa show moja. Haiwezi make. I have to diversify. That is how now it translated into the fireplace studios, because now with the studios I can have different shows that are thematic and they are focusing on different sectors. So that is basically how the transition happened, and here we are.
Up to this moment that you've undergone all this, up to that moment, the fireplace studio is in place. You've gone round.
Around the circle.
At this point, if somebody asks you, what is life? What description could you give?
Life is vanity, man. like seriously. What do we get out of it? What do we get out of it? We're here today and tomorrow we are not. You know, everything we are working for can be obsolete just the next second. So if you start looking at life from that perspective, hauna pressure. Hauna pressure, because I mean, what is it? What is it that we are chasing? We are chasing fame, we are chasing money, we are chasing recognition, we are chasing respect, whatever else that we are chasing, it comes to an end any minute and you have no control over it, you know.
Whether you win or you lose,
it's all good.
It will end.
It's all good, you know. It's all good. So let's just do what we can. And I think for me, what I have learned is to be able to do something that I love. First of all is, do I love doing that? Because if you look at my history, I have had opportunities to work in different spaces, but where I felt uncomfortable, I didn't stay there for long. Ilikuwa tu mazei sasa hii imeanza kukataa. Whether I have something else or I don't, hata afadhali nikae in kwa jangwa for a while when I'm figuring out things than stay in a place where I feel uncomfortable.
And on that, I'll ask you 3 final questions as we exit.
Yes.
If somebody could ask, who is Nguti? What type of person is Ambrose Nguti? Are you a radical person? Are you an open-minded person? Are you a partisan person? Ama we uko tu?
Open-minded.
Open-minded. Okay. Are you confrontational? If there is something that you are not pleased with, do you confront or do you walk away silent?
I walk away.
You don't confront.
Yes.
Okay. Now, up to this point that Fireplace is running, maybe what is the worst? Did you ever have an interview that you regret doing? The worst interview ever? Or did you ever interviewed an awkward person in terms of how everything was run? Behavior? Yeah, have you ever had such a situation?
No, I don't call any. I think all my interviews were fairly good.
Okay.
The outcome and everything.
Maybe the most memorable interview that you remember, the most memorable interview that you remember ever doing that you will never forget. Which one was it? Whether positive or negative? And if it's positive, who were you interviewing?
Most memorable. Most memorable nilikuwa na interview the current CEC for agriculture. Anaitwa nani?
Hatundi.
Hatundi. Yeah, I think that we need to redo this. I need to call out tukae chini tena tupige story. I think it is the vibe that she comes with. And I had sought for that interview for a while, but ile tu anakuambia Nguti, I will come to your show. Na that is it, you know. Sasa wewe ujipange na nini. The conversation was very robust in terms of what she's doing as a department and the priorities the county has in terms of investing in agriculture and helping farmers to grow productivity and those kind of things. So I think for me, and for me, I was looking for the content in the conversations. And you know, most of the time, these kind of interviews don't go viral. Things zenye zinaenda viral ni zile zenye ziko funny, ama kuna jokes, ama kuna nini, you know. But I think I loved that interview because it was very objective, the kind of content we discussed, and just how beneficial that kind of information was to my audience. I think it was super. I would love to have that conversation again.
Okay. Who is this guest that you ever feel that I interviewed this guest, but this one was of the highest rank, be it political or position of influence? This person of the highest rank that you ever had a conversation with?
I don't know, between a member of parliament and a CS, which one is higher?
A cabinet secretary?
Yes.
Of course, a cabinet secretary, because he represents the nation.
Okay.
An MP represents a constituency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think assistant cabinet secretary. That was my highest.
Okay. Well, now let's, as we log out, let's talk about what do you think of digital media. We are not doing this interview in mainstream media, but this is now what is it is shaping the community, how people get information, how people perceive things. What do you think of digital media as we log out?
Digital media is a tool for the present and the future. It has enabled, it had opened up mainstream media in many ways to its disadvantage, let me say that, because we are in places where a normal journalist is not, you know. We are processing content in a way that a normal journalist is not processing. We are faster in releasing content. We are getting interviews all over the place. We are digging into stuff that in a normal media house they will need to sit down and decide on a budget and then allow you to go and, you know, and plan and allow you to, by the time they finish all that, you have already done it, you have shared, and people got the information that you wanted them to get. So I think it has revolutionized media in a very positive way. It is something that needs to be embraced. It is building careers. It is really opening up access to information in ways that we cannot imagine. So it's a good thing. Irrespective of how people are using it, we have those ones who are utilizing it for good and those ones who are misusing it. Like in every other sphere of life, kuna tu wale wenye wanaenda the opposite direction. But I think digital media is an amazing tool that needs to be used to transform society.
Talk to your followers. People believe in you. People believe in the Fireplace Studios. This is your camera. You can talk to them.
Okay, fantastic. First of all, I want to thank Chezo for the opportunity, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the ardent followers of the Fireplace Studios from way back. I know we go to a place where we adjourned our production, our live productions, but we're coming back hopefully in January. Bigger and better, so stay on the Fireplace Studios. But I also want to thank you because of the diversity that we have embraced. We're now doing tours and events. We're taking people to places to see the world, and you have also embraced that idea. You have supported us in building a sister company, which is the Fireplace Safaris. Thank you so much for supporting me as the person who is behind everything else, but also my team that I work with to be able to bring you the kind of information that you're looking for. So asanteni sana.
Also, thank you so much. Najua tumetafuta hii interview for quite some time.
A long time, eh?
Yeah. So asante sana kwa kuweza kutokea. Until next time, we'll have another conversation. And to our audience, asanteni sana kutufuatilia. Keep following, subscribing. My name is Majani Chezo, and this is Alfajiri Digital Space. And as we log out, our guest is called
Nguti with the Fireplace Studios.
Thank you so much, guys.